I first started out on YouTube, I made a lot of videos about radio calls for VFR flying. But you know what? I think it's about time, since I got my instrument rating, that I make one about IFR flying, because I finally have an instrument rating and you guys probably work on your instrument ratings. So we're going to talk about all of the radio calls that we're going to need to make under IFR. This is not going to be your marvelous VFR C500 stuff. This is kind of just going to be the process of being in the IFR system. If you guys want me to make a video about marvelous VFR C500, comment that down below. But anywho, the IFR system and the radio calls. There's going to be a few different changes when going from VFR to IFR for your radio calls. So the first thing that we're going to usually get whenever we fly IFR is going to be our craft clearance. Our craft clearance is going to be our clearance, the route, the altitude, the frequency, and transponder. Well, that's what the acronym means. Basically, that's going to be our clearance whenever that's going to be our IFR clearance, basically. So it'll sound like, let me read you off one of my IFR clearances. For example, from my latest time building video, if you guys haven't seen it, which I would be surprised because it's currently doing really well, I was cleared to Orlando Executive via radar vectors need, then as filed. On departure, heading 160-1600. Expect 5,010 minutes after departure. Departure is going to be on 119.65 and squawk 2142.
Ground, good morning. Diamond Star 385 Delta Sierra. We're at the flight school looking to pick up our IFR to Orlando Executive.
Diamond Star 385 Delta Sierra, Whittier Ground. You're clear to the Orlando Executive Airport via radar vectors to need, then as filed. Turn right, heading 160, climb and maintain 1,600. Expect higher 5,010 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 119.65, squawk 2142.
All right, we're cleared to the Orlando Executive Airport via radar vectors need, then as filed. On departure, heading 160, 1,600, expect 5,010 minutes after departure. Departure frequencies on 119.65, squawk 2142, 385 Delta Sierra.
And November 5 Delta Sierra, read back correct.
Yes!
Basically, that clearance right there is going to be the one that's going to activate your flight plan, because we get to do those now. It's not going to be like a VFR flight plan where you call up flight service or activate it on your phone. You call up a ground control, or either a ground tower controller, or even approach if you're at an uncontrolled airport, or even give them a phone call to get your craft clearance. It's basically just activating your flight plan. The second thing that's going to be your second radio call, well, I wouldn't really say second, but your next radio call after your takeoff clearance, that's going to be your handoff over to the departure controller, the approach controller, or even center controller if there is no approach controller, even though there usually is an approach controller. I guess it just depends.
Diamond 5 Delta Sierra, contact time for departure 119.65. We'll see you later.
For departure, 119.65, have a go 15 Delta Sierra.
Basically, and that's going to be your initial handoff. So under the IFR system, you're going to be watched over by an air traffic controller at all times. This is unlike VFR, where you can basically go putz around, not talking to anyone. You're going to be on a set frequency the entire time, from the time that you basically start up the plane to the time where you shut it down. Your initial contact to a departure controller is going to be like Diamond Star 385 Delta Sierra on a 160 heading, passing through 900, climbing 1,600, for example.
Campus departure, good morning. Diamond Star 385 Delta Sierra, passing through 1,300, climbing 1,600 on a 160 heading.
385 Delta Sierra, Tampa departure, better contact, maintain 1,600, fly heading 140.
Heading 140, maintain 1,600, 385 Delta Sierra.
It'll let the controller know that you're heading on a 160 heading, you're currently climbing up to 1,600, and you gave them your altitude that you're currently passing through. They're going to need that in order to verify your altitude with what they see on the scope. And then after that, you'll hear radar contact, and you might hear an instruction. Well, you probably will hear an instruction. You'll probably hear like climb, maintain 1,600, like they'll reiterate it to you, or they'll give you a different instruction like turn left heading 140, climb, maintain 3,000. I don't think that was in the actual video, but That's just my example that just came off the top of my head. Then pretty much throughout the entire flight, you're not really going to be talked to that much. They're going to give you instruction and you're just going to comply with it. It's kind of like being at a Delta airport almost. This is kind of my way to explain it. It's kind of like being watched over by a controller the entire time, and then they're telling you exactly what to do. So turn left at 20 degrees, turn right 20 degrees, climb and maintain 6,000, descend and maintain 4,000. They're going to give you the instructions just like how you would be at a Delta airport during traffic pattern. Extend your base, extend your downwind, stuff like that. It's just going to be on the en route and the approach phase. Now we're gonna get to kind of one of the last ones of the flight. You're gonna have something called your PTAC clearance. Now this one is gonna be a little bit tricky because you're not really gonna have time to write this down. It'll kind of just happen right on the spot, and then you gotta read it back. For example, PTAC clearance. Let me pull up an approach plate. I got to use this as a reference for myself. Let's say the approach controller is going to be like 4 miles from file, maintain 2,000 until established, cleared for the RNAV runway 7 approach. Or if we go over to the ILS 36 at Pi, because I have gotten this one so many times in my instrument training, you're gonna hear your 3 miles from zones, turn left heading 030, maintain 2,000 until established, cleared for the ILS 36 approach. That's basically going to be your PTAC clearance, and you're just going to read it back, maintain 2,000 until established, cleared ILS 36. You don't have to read back the position, it's just the TAC part, so the turn, altitude, and the clearance. They might not always give you a turn. They'll probably just be like if you're already either being vectored or they give you directive fixed, they're just going to give you an altitude. So it'd be like proceed direct to CW Bill and then cleared for the RNFs, or cleared direct CW Bill, and then they'll be like, all right, you're 4 from file, maintain 2,000 until established, cleared for the RNAV 7. I think CW Bill, or they might give you CW Bill as well, like proceed direct CW Bill, maintain 2,000 and cleared for the RNF 7.
Find on track 20 miles from Ezra, cross Ezra 2,000, clear RNF straight in, runway 7.
Right, cross SREC at 2,000 and then cleared RNAV 7 straight in, 38500.
The PTAC clearance and the craft clearance are probably going to be the hardest radio columns to master. But here is a great way that I have figured out how to do it, because I got to give you guys my best tips that I have personally tried, tested, and done. Craft clearances, Microsoft Flight Simulator, 100%. That's the best way to do it because you can mess up, but it won't affect you in real life. It might piss off the VATSIM controller just a smidge, but they'll help you out with it as well. I wouldn't do this if you haven't had any practice with the craft clearance. Maybe don't do it immediately. Listen to some live ATC, or I'm gonna be posting instrument videos, or like commercial time building videos. I'm gonna be flying under IFR. Can I even talk today? Damn. I'm gonna be posting some more videos of me flying instruments, so watch those because I will always include the craft clearance and the PTAC clearance. Just whenever you hear them, just write them down like how I write them down, and then pause the video and then read it back to yourself. That's also another way to learn it. You can also use live ATC online, but primarily Microsoft Flight Simulator, or even chair flying it with having the like if you got a PTAC or craft clearance, like you know of one and then you're like reciting it back. That's another good way to practice. I personally think the simulator, once you have enough practice doing it by yourself, is great because you'll get into the habit of writing down your craft clearance as fast as possible, except if it's a full route clearance, then can't really help you there. That's going to be confusing for you guys. It's still confusing for me, I'll be honest. Thankfully, I haven't gotten a full route clearance. And then your PTAC clearance. PTAC is probably going to be the hardest one to learn, or not really learn, but it'll probably be the hardest one for you because you won't really you'll kind of expect it, but you won't really expect it like within enough time because you don't really request it. It's just assigned to you. So you got to read it back like that. I don't really use a scratch pad while I'm flying for PTAC clearances. Controllers are understanding as well with PTAC clearances where you might miss something. So just ask them to verify something with the clearance if need be. And then your craft clearance, well, same thing, you're on the ground, so you have more time to write it down. That's really about it for much of IFR radio comms. This kind of IFR radio communications kind of build up more from private. So if you guys have good radio comms from private, you'll be fine with the instrument. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but it's not too major where it's like, okay, this is VFR flying communications and this is IFR flying communications. They're kind of mixed 2 and 2 together. That's really my best way of explaining it. Anyways, if this kind of gave you like an opener, if you guys are starting your instrument training and just need an idea of what radio comms to expect, make sure you guys leave a like down below. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. We're on the road to 2,000 right now, so I'd greatly appreciate it. And I'm planning on making a more in-depth version of my YouTube videos for members only. So if you guys are interested potentially, drop a membership. I don't know what membership tier I'm gonna make it, but if you guys want to watch the full time or like the full flights, business class is gonna be the one to go. Whenever I do like a flight video, I make 2 versions. I make a members only version where there's no cuts, no edits, no music, no nothing. It's just me from the time that I start up the plane to shut down. And then the edited version, well, that's the public one. That's gonna be the more entertaining one. But anywho, I'll see you guys in the next video and stay safe up in the clouds.
Okay.